Hi everyone, it's me Joe, and today I'm giving you a blog. Now I know you guys aren't so much into the makeup tutorials right now. I know there's so much content out there that it's like seeing the same things happen again and again and again. Every time I'm on Instagram, I'm like, did I just see this bitch do that tutorial like last week? And it's someone else just doing the same tutorials. So I don't think tutorials are the way to go. One of the questions that I've had again and again, and it's where I get my inspiration for my style from. Like, style's not about buying expensive things. Style's about putting an idea together and having a sense of, I guess you would say, an opinion about things. And I very much share my opinion through the way I dress and the way I look. I've never wanted to be shock value. That's never been in my mindset. And I've never thought about things like, okay, I see at the moment all the boys in makeup, they're all rocking the big glasses, they're all wearing flat caps, they're wearing the same kind of like clothing style. I can't determine which one's which. They've all got the same highlighter style on, they've got the same makeup. They go to the same retailers, they go to the same makeup manufacturers. That's not how I roll. I don't do things like this. I never have done. I make most of my clothes myself, or they're commission made. This, for example, is by a designer called Patrick Church, who's an artist who is a friend of mine, and I saw his work when he was up and coming and thought, wow, that's really, really cool. Let me speak to him about what he's doing and maybe I can get some of his early work. There is so much things that I pay attention to before they blow up, because I can see that the designers, and this is how small London is compared to the rest of the world, so all my American people, let me explain this. In the UK, we're geographically smaller. Like, to me, going a long distance would be going 50 minutes in a taxi to London. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a long drive for me. And I know it's obviously not a long drive, because to get from one end of Los Angeles to another takes an hour and a half sometimes. And much longer if you're going to like longer distances. I just mean from the airport to downtown and things. So I appreciate that we are kind of like condensed. Here we don't have enough kind of like differentiation, but you do start to pick up on the same pieces of inspiration, I think, quite early on. And I think you're seeing, like, the world sees fashion from a season and a half ahead of itself. So what's being designed and what's being released now, for Menswear Week, for example, that's all been in the works for about a year and a half. That's been an inspiration board that was done a year and a half ago. That's been a design that's gone through the process. So I totally understand where people connect to and where they get their source of inspiration to, and I very much pay attention to it. So that would pretty much be my philosophy when it comes to style. Okay, on to part 2 of the video. Now, I thought it wasn't worth doing a style video unless I really showed you a diverse kind of range of what I wear, and I wanted to give you kind of like a full head to toe kind of like breakdown and go through my favourite pieces of my wardrobe, because I've got so many weird things that I think you guys would be fun to share with you. So you could probably guess my style is a mixture between, I always used to joke actually, let's go back to this, I used to say elegant gothic hooker at the library because it was like a play on like elegant gothic Lolita, because I always wear like stupid stuff. But I tend to wear black and white mostly, and then use myself as kind of like the highlight. Pun intended today. I've actually just been sent so much from NYX. Got some small things to talk about maybe soon, and I'll give you that in my next video. When it comes to my hair, I honestly style my hair based on whatever I feel like in the time. I'm looking up on my wig collection, which if you guys want me to do a wig video, I'll do that too. I have over 200 human hair wigs. I collect them almost obsessively now. It's getting a little bit ridiculous because I haven't got room for them, and I have to rotate them every 2 seasons now. So I have my summer wigs, which are shorter, lighter, a little bit more easier to wear, and then I have my winter wigs that I can go wild with. I tend to get my hair changed a lot. Like when I was younger, I would change my hair like every 3 weeks or something stupid, and every time I kind of loved a hairstyle, I've now had a wig made to look like it. The only ones I don't have is when I had a short David Bowie mullet. I've only got about 4 or 5 really, really short haircuts in wigs, but everything else is kind of self-explanatory. You can see from my videos all the diverse range of things that I wear. So this is just a vintage jumpsuit. I like to wear jumpsuits because they kind of are androgynous still, but they give you that elegance of that Studio 54 kind of thing. And I definitely collect some, so let's go through my wardrobe. Back to jumpsuits. So I always talk to you guys about things that I make, and I brought 3 things that I've made based on a pattern I designed about 10 years ago. This is when I was still in high school and I wanted to wear nice things, but I couldn't find anything that would really fit me, so I made like loads and loads and loads of these drapey kind of what I would describe as the top part of a jumpsuit, so I could throw them over leggings and it would give the illusion of such, and they just drape around. I made them in all different kinds of sparkly materials, as you can see, and I thought it'd just be nice to throw that in just to give you some idea of what I've actually designed and wear to this day. Next is this lovely jumpsuit that I got in a vintage store. This is actually something I bought for an event I was doing in Dallas, Texas, and I wanted to do something that was going to be a little bit kind of like I don't know, like, what is that, like, Carrie Underwood? It's so funny because the guy I'm dating is really good friends with Carrie Underwood at the moment, so I'm hearing lots of weird stories. But anyway, it's kind of like a Texas kind of like jumpsuit vintagey thing, and it also reminded me of some pieces I have by Christian Lacroix, which I collected a few years ago. I'll show you those. Okay, so the one it kind of reminded me of was, I've got so much stuff on my lap, was this one. Now I always joke it's like an ice skater's top. I don't know where I've got this from. It just reminds me of like an ice skater. But it's kind of like the same concept, but by Christian Lacroix, and comes with this gorgeous internal corset. And I wear this just as a top over a jumpsuit. I just think it's a cute sheer number, and very difficult to get kind of like the embellished Lacroix stuff now. So I do love it, and it's one of my new, well, it's one of my favourite pieces. So next, a jumpsuit that I really, really like is actually one of my Mugler pieces. Now, I'm so lucky because I have always been such a huge fan of Mugler, as you guys know. I did an original art video about 2011. If you guys remember back in the day, and I'll probably put a clip on the screen right now, I did a video that was inspired by behind the scenes of a Mugler runway, and in the background it was like me getting ready to do the Mugler show, and that was a big inspiration for me when I started my YouTube channel, and a lot of the art videos actually was about that. So that's a funny backstory, and I've just actually been fortunate enough to work with Thierry Mugler, and I'm working with him at the moment, so I'll do a video about that next. Anyway, here is one of my original Thierry Mugler couture pieces. Now, I have quite a few from the runway now. It's very hard for me to like describe how much I love Mugler because I've been such a fan of the brand, but at the same time, now there's a lot of suits you can buy on Etsy that are like, they're things you could buy in a department store. They were accessible pieces that women would wear like a business power suit. They were never things that were expensive at the time. They were never the high-end range. They're just recycled kind of ideas from the runway that were broken down to an audience that would buy them, because obviously not everyone would buy all the incredible artwork that Manfred would have created. For me, it's like, it's kind of tacky. So this is actually a little bit different to that because this is straight from the runway, and one of my favourite pieces. So this is a rubber, as you can see, a rubber two-piece. It comes with like a rah-rah skirt and a top, and I wear this as a dress sometimes. It's very chic. I do like playing with kind of like fetishy ideas because originally Westwood's clothes were very inspired by that, so it throws back to my inspirations. This is a McQueen skirt, as you guys can see. I got this when I was still modelling actually back in the day. Had that one for ages, love wearing it as actually a ruff. I've worn it in a couple of videos on this channel if you remember back. This is again Alexander McQueen. This is just a gorgeous patent leather dress. It's something that I have. Did I just smudge my lipstick? No, she's good. It's basically like a zip detail dress. It's got no straps, it's strapless, but it does fit me like a glove, and I'm very in love with that one. Then we have Versace. Now, again, Versace, like Mugler, they do a lot of ranges within them. This is collection, which is not the high end, but it does fit me so fantastic, I had to include it. I do wear Versace a lot in my videos. A lot of the tops come from the Gianni Versace range, which are the strappy tops. They're all Versace, so I wear them a lot in my videos. So I keep mentioning Vivienne Westwood, and again, it's my favourite brand, I think, aside from Mugler, and I'll explain why. So in England, she changed the way we look at fashion completely. Vivienne Westwood and McLaren created this new aesthetic that we see consistently across the board today. They were so influential to me, and what she does and what she still stands for is something quite exceptional. And when I was younger and I was obsessed with mermaids, there was a Westwood dress that was inspired by mermaids, and I never thought I'd be able to get it. And I did, so I have the famous mermaid dress. So I do collect a lot of Westwood. I have probably about 15 or so different dresses by her that are either Anglomania, Red Label. They're not Gold Label, any of the dresses I wear, but they're all the drapey things. I've got so many. They're similar patterns sometimes, so they go over the shoulder. Definitely my favourite brand, and I love them. So talking about my stuff, again, things that I've made. This is one of my infamous jackets from back in the Clark Kid era. So back in the Michael James and me friendship days, I would make all our clothes. All those black hoodies, all those tight sparkly things were made by me. All the bags, in fact, all the little handbags we used to carry our cameras in and things were made by me. So this is one of my jackets that I pleated, I created, and it's been around the world, so it's a little bit worse for wear now, but it's lasted me a goddamn while. I also like things like accessories, but I don't like bags or shoes. So this is what I like to call the dragon mask, and it's alligator. And this is basically like, I wear it as a headdress here, and I wrap it around my head because I don't really like to wear it as a mask. But again, just an interesting thing to throw in for my wardrobe. Another interesting thing would be my Viking helmet. Yes, this is a real Viking helmet. I do collect weird period pieces, and for me, clothes aren't just nice dresses you can buy in a store. They're things you can put together and things that are creative, things that are interesting, and I like weird things like this. So I do like my Viking helmet, and I collect weird hats, like military hats and all bits and bobs. You've seen lots of things on my channel so far. So next on my list is another period piece. This is an actual Matador's full ensemble. I've worn it a few times actually, which I'm excited about. When this came, it was originally a size 18 UK, so very big on me, but I actually retailored the whole thing. So now it fits at size 8-10, and it's fabulous. One of my favourite things I have. Now, this is going to be controversial because I know you guys don't really understand my full perspective about animal rights and fur, but I have done it in the past. If you guys want me to do a video, again, let me know in the comments below. But I do collect fur for spiritual reasons, not for vanity reasons. I don't eat animals. I've never eaten meat in my entire life. And as I've got older, I've tried to avoid anything that involves animals. Wine is filtered through fish. Even beer, the way they make beer and the way beer stays fizzy in its barrels, they actually put this thing in that's like some sort of stomach lining in the crate of beer, and apparently it doesn't get through the filter of the tap, so they can class it non-vegetarian. But beer is not vegetarian if you're actually as strict as I am. I'm that strict when it comes to animal cruelty and things that I put in my body. But anyway, I'm vegan, and I've always been vegan. But for me, I have collected antique furs for my spiritual reasons, which I can talk about in a video. Nothing is from a news source, nothing is from a brand new retailer, and I don't advertise them on my channel. As you guys know, I very rarely wear them, but I do have an awful lot in my house, from a zebra, to crocodiles, to birds, to kangaroos, to, I don't know, I'm on a deer at the moment. We have baboon, which is here. We have monkeys, I have lots of things, but it's for my spiritual practices more so than my decorations, but I'll talk about that another day. Anyway, I couldn't do a style video and not mention my full wardrobe. Alright guys, well that's an insight into my wardrobe. I hope you guys liked it, just some of my favourite pieces. And I have 2 houses worth of clothes at the moment, and we have more in storage in the storage unit. So there's so much stuff in my wardrobe. It is absurd. I do appreciate that I have got a lot. I don't take it for granted. I'm very grateful. Well, not grateful because I worked for it myself. No one's ever given me anything, but yeah, I'm very lucky to be able to collect and build into my wardrobe, and they're pieces that I will keep forever. They're not things that I would buy and then throw away. They're things that I want to wear and continue to wear. So just to give you some insight. So before I finish my video today, I can't leave you without giving you a little bit of an insight. Now, the way I like to document and research inspiration is through an app called Nilo. It's something that I use quite often, and I've been offered the ability to be a featured makeup artist on the app. It's basically an app where you can see, you just swipe on, and it's kind of like a social media from the start, but you build in your looks. So whether you like my makeup look today, which I'll pop on the app if you're interested in how I've done this face and all the products I've used, I can list that on the actual app, and you guys can go through and see all the products in detail, see how I put it together, and then if you like them, you can buy the products through the app. Very simple to use, and I'll pop it in the top of the description. Okay, so to add a look and create your own look, you select your item. I've called it Pink Glam. Here is my actual all-nighter spray in person, so you can see it's so easy to do it. Now, I'm going to go back in. Now, I do love It Cosmetics. We can do that one. So this will give you a full guide on my look, and you can find it in the links below. I'm going to add this one, and I'm going to add a fashion one, and you guys can check them out in a sec. So now we can see from my page, you can find out all the bits I'm wearing today, and you can then click on it and find out how I've bought them. Now you guys can set this up yourself, you can do this all, and I'm going to publish now. One amazing feature of this app is you guys can actually look into asking me to style or come up with an idea for you. So it's going to be a brand new thing. I don't know how this is going to go because obviously I'm not a stylist, but I'm definitely a creative director, and that's what I do for brands, and that's what I do for myself and most of the Drag Race girls that I've shot with Mr. Greg Bailey, who has shot Loverboy cover, who shot Alaska, Jinx, Detox, Milk, Adore Me, all those. I have some part of the creative direction of all of those, but we were kind of like a partnership when we were doing those shoots together. So all of that stuff, all the outfits, all the concepts, whether it's throwing Alaska in bed and saying do a Marilyn Monroe style and adding a red lip or whatever. I come up with the ideas. So if you guys wanted me to help you personally with those ideas, you can actually contact me through the app and actually check out my packages. So you can find that all through the app below. I'll pop the link straight down here. So Nilo's an amazing app. Check it out in the links below and shop, shop, shop. You can contact me for my packages and hopefully you enjoyed that. So that's a full basic kind of version of my style. I hope you find that fun. I've got way more in my wardrobe, as you will probably see from my channel and as things go on. But if you want me to do a wig one, let me know next. And I've got lots of bits and bobs coming, from Mugler videos to Urban Decay videos and lots of things on the horizon. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you all in my next video.